Spurgeon here with RevZilla, and welcome to our detailed breakdown of the HJC CS-R3 helmet available at RevZilla.com. Now what we're going to see is the CS-R3 is going to replace the CS-R2 in HJC's lineup, and what you're really going to notice with this is going to be updated venting as well as an updated shell shape. This gets more of a modern feel, modern aggressive lines compared to the old, more bulbous look of the R2. Now when we're breaking this down, this is going to be your entry-level helmet from HJC. What you're getting is a DOT-only polycarb shell, 2 shell sizes available, and this is going to weigh in at 3 pounds 3 ounces in the size medium that we have in front of me. Now keep that in mind, it's a little bit lighter than something you'd see from the CL17 because you're sacrificing that Snell safety rating. The CL17 is going to be your next step up in HJC's lineup if you want to get up to a helmet that is going to give you Snell safety as well as a DOT rating with this. Now, just taking a look at the CS-R3, the first thing to note on this is the overall fitment has not changed. It's still going to be your intermediate oval, a little bit longer front to back, a little bit narrow on the sides, and it is going to work nicely for the majority of you riders out there in the American market. Now, you're going to have 6 different solid colors available as well as 2 graphics, and your price point on this is going to be around the $95 mark for the solid colors, and then you're going to look at around $110 if you're getting into some of the more graphic options available from HJC for the CS-R3. So starting with the outside shell, like I said, this is really what you're going to see is the update. They've updated the venting scheme. You still have your chin vent, but instead of the one center vent, they've actually gone to a chimney vent setup where you have 2 chimney vents on either side, and there is going to be an open and a close switch up top. There's not going to be any different positions of how you can actuate the venting. It's either going to be opened or closed with a simple switch that's easy to manipulate even if you're wearing motorcycle gloves. Now the other thing you're going to see here, and this is a carryover from the R3, or the R2 rather, is it is still going to be HJC's rapid release face shield. And this is something that I really like from HJC. It's one of the easier face shields we've seen to actuate, and you'll notice there's just a little button right here, a little lever rather. You pull it back, and the face shield pops off, and then to put it back on, you simply snap it down into place. The other thing you're going to notice, if you look very closely, there's going to be springs inside the mechanism here, and as you close the face shield, it actually does a nice job of pulling the face shield back so you get a nice seal around the overall gasket. You're going to notice that there's 2 ridges on the gasket, and it's going to give you a nice clean seal to block out noise as well as moisture. Once that's down into place, the face shield actually pulls back, and then if you want, over on the left-hand side, you're going to notice that there is a little button that'll lock the face shield into place. So once that's locked into place, it's not going to be able to pull up on you, and it's going to give you that nice tight seal where you're rolling down the road, rolling down the highway. So from there, we break into the overall shape that we've seen change. Now this is still going to have 2 shell sizes. It is still going to be a polycarb shell, but the overall lines are going to be definitely more aerodynamic, really aggressive lines, starting with the front, moving around to the back. You get a little bit of a fin on the back of this, just updating the overall look. Like I said, that R2, the CS-R2 was definitely out of date, was definitely a little bit bulbous, and it's definitely time for an update. Now when we're talking about the shell sizes, there's going to be 3 different EPSs with those 2 different shells. It is going to be a single density EPS, and that's going to take us to the inside of this helmet. So flipping this up, let's take a look at what we have going on inside. So the interior hasn't changed. It's still going to be that Nylex interior, nice and comfortable, and it's going to snap out, and you simply have 3 snaps. You can see the 3 red snaps, and it will have this nice bottom liner that'll fit right in along the molding along the edge. Easy in, easy out. Some of the liners we see are a little bit harder to get in, harder to get out. This is right around the middle of the road. It should be no problem for you to swap these liners out if you have to, or if you want to pull them out to clean them, you should be able to do so. So setting that to the side, let's get the other ones out as well. And one of the things you're going to notice with this as we kind of move it around is that you are going to have internal speaker pockets. So if we take a look right on this side, it's probably the easiest to see, you will see there are going to be cutaways for internal speaker pockets. If you want to go ahead and include a comm system with this, it's going to be a really nice, easy add-on for you to go ahead and throw a comm system through here. Now removing the liner, you're going to have 2 snaps in the front, and then pulling this out. One of the things that I like that HJC has done is you're going to notice that there's no snaps at the front. They've instead incorporated a plastic brow mount that's not going to include snaps that could cause undue pressure on your forehead. So for the fact that this is going to be an entry-level helmet, they've done a nice job. Now again, simple liner with this. You will notice there's massive cutaways on either side, which will allow for those vents to do their overall job. And you can see those vents if I open this up again with that single density EPS liner. You're going to notice there's those nice cutaways in there, and you're also going to be able to see the holes where those 3 vents in the front pass through to the 2 passive vents around the back of the overall shell. So for a no-frills option, for those of you out there looking for an entry-level helmet, perhaps you just bought your first motorcycle and you don't want to spend a lot of money, but you still want something that's going to be a quality piece to keep you safe, something that's going to be lightweight, HJC does a nice job of getting you into motorcycling with something like the CS-R3. HJC was my first helmet. I rode it for 2 years before updating to something else, and that's really what you're seeing happening with this particular lid. Now, there's a lot of riders out there that are rocking HJC, and if you want to hear more about what they have to say, click the info button on your desktop or mobile device to read other rider reviews from folks that are already out there using HJC helmets on their ride. If you have more questions for us, pick up the phone, give us a call, 877-792-9455, or simply reach out via email at cs@revzilla.com. Thank you for joining us for this detailed breakdown of the HJC CS-R3. I'm Spurge. Enjoy the ride.